So in this video we're going to go into some depth and discuss how these icons over here have been programmed into the dialog component. So let's go back to design mode, and before I do that I'm going to actually describe in a little bit more detail how the methods that are available to you in the tab object can be used. So I'm going to go here and turn off. I had previously hidden this container from there to there, and now I'm going to turn it off because it is going to allow me to explain what's going on a little bit more carefully. So you can see here that what I have is a bunch of navigation icons and then an icon that says stop, and then some text that indicates where I am in the progression. So I'm going to go now and click this stop icon. So you can see now we've changed to go. So currently the animation has been stopped, and if I press this button we'll still go to the next image, and then if I press, for example, that icon, I go to the first image, etc. So let's take a look now at how these icons and these buttons were implemented, which will help us then understand how the progression icons over here were implemented. So let's go back to design mode right now, and let's take a look, for example, at this button over here, which is move first. So if I go to the on click event here, I can see that the code that this button is executing is tab timer go to, and then here's the tab ID tab 1, which corresponds to this tab ID over there, tab 1 over there. And let's go back there. So tab timer go to, so then tab 1, and then the target is F, which is short for first. So I would know that by going into dialog methods and just typing in timer, and I can see here are the methods that the tab object has when it's operating in the timer mode. There's a method called tab timer stop, one called tab timer start, one called tab timer go to, and then one called tab info. And tab info is useful because it gives you a whole bunch of information about the tab object, such as basically what the current active pane is, and how many panes there are, and which pane will be the next pane in the sequence, and which pane will be the previous pane in the sequence. So for example, if the current active pane is 3, the next pane will be 4, as long as, of course, there's more than there's 4 or more panes in the tab object. If there are 6 panes, for example, in the tab object, as we currently have in this example, and the current pane is 6, then the next pane will be 1. So the tab info gives you just a bunch of useful information. So in this case, this button is doing a tab timer go to, and then the first button, and then obviously this one is going to go to previous, so which is, so it says P over there, and then this one would be next, and this one would be last. This one, as you can see here, is tab timer stop, and I'll discuss why we did this a little later, so let's just ignore that for the time being. And then this one over here is tab timer go, and you can see again it's tab timer start. So we need to, when you start, we need to restart the timer and then immediately go to the next tab, the next pane in the sequence. So the JavaScript event handlers for each one of these buttons are actually very simple, but when you look at this dialog when it's actually running, you can see here that the stop and start icons, only one of them at a time is showing. So right now if I click this button, it's going to stop the sequence, and you can see it stopped now, and the button that stopped the sequence has been hidden, and now the button that restarts the sequence has been shown. So if I click this now, you can see we automatically immediately go to the next pane and then restart the sequence. So let's pause now and see how we handled the showing and hiding of those two buttons over there.